All right. This is Ben Parker of CardinalSportsReport.com here with a very special podcast called Talking Cal with Cal. My guest today is a real avid Cal expert named Cal Cangilla. Cal, could you first just introduce yourself and kind of talk a little bit about how you got into Cal athletics and everything?
Yeah, well, obviously you can see my name's Cal. So when I was maybe around 12, 13, 14, around that age, I started getting really into sports and saw that there's some for college named similar to mine with like shirts and stuff that I could wear. Started following their football, basketball team, got really into football, and then it's been a major passion of mine ever since.
Sweet. And I think we met through, I think, just kind of me writing and tweeting about Cal athletics back in my days when
Yeah.
I was a student at Cal and everything. And yeah, so kind of fun to have you on here. So it's fun to be talking Cal with a guy whose actually name is Cal. So that's great. Um, so first of all, just kind of I'm kind of deferring to you here. Just kind of what are your general kind of thoughts on this Cal football team so far this season they've had?
Yeah, I feel like it started off kind of promising. You saw the offense was looking better early on than we kind of expected. Major disappointment's been the defense. I can't remember a defense being this bad under Wilcox, so it's kind of been crazy to see. And I think they've kind of turned around the last couple weeks. Offense is still looking good, but defense still having some problems.
Yeah, and just kind of quickly, kind of on the offensive side of the ball, just talk about the quarterback Fernando Mendoza, what you've seen from him.
Yeah, he's been great. He's really added a new type of energy to the offense. Everyone seems to really like want to play for him and want to like make him better around him. He's been, making the offense. They run more up tempo, but he's more of a passer than some of the guys we've had in before. So it's a good balance of you can play fast, still run the ball, but he's hitting guys in stride more, things like that. And then I think it just makes Ott better because they're trusting. They have to trust that Fernando can make throws. So now there's more lanes for Ott to run.
And it just kind of thoughts on Jaden Knott, just kind of what talk about him and just kind of what's allowed him to be. He seems like he's taken a step this year in the positive direction. Just what's made
Yeah.
him so much better this year.
Yeah, I think he got stronger. That's something I noticed that he's breaking more tackles. That maybe in the last couple of years he needed a big lane to get to his speed, but now first guy run through a couple arm tackles. But I really do think he's one of the best backs in the country, and it's been fun to watch him this year.
Yeah, and also too, just outside of Jaden Ott and Fernando Mendoza, what are some other kind of key names on the Cal offense that Stanford fans should be aware of?
Yeah, I think the biggest one that comes to mind, Jeremiah Hunter. He's a big body receiver. Seems like a guy that Fernando trusts. If things are not, if there's not a wide open guy, you can throw it to him and go trust him to go make a play. I think that's a big guy on the outside. And the last couple of weeks, we've kind of started to see the tight ends get more involved as a safety blanket for Fernando.
Sweet. And now swing to the other side of the ball, the defense. Just who are kind of some key names on the defense for the Bears.
Yeah, I think up front it's Brett Johnson. He's missed the last couple of years, but when you saw him his freshman year, he was an impact player, and he's slowly getting every game. You can see him getting better and better. They had a couple injuries in the linebacker room. Jackson Sermon's out for the year, who was kind of the leader, leading the team in tackles, probably setting the defense, getting audibles. So it looks like a couple of guys are rotating in there. I think Ulave had a huge game last week for Cal. A couple of fumble recoveries, interception, and get a touchdown. And then in the safety, like DB room, I think Craig Woodson's the leader back there. He's been here for a while. So he's kind of, getting everyone, make sure everyone's in the right coverage and leader back there.
Sweet. And also too, just kind of in general, for Cal, if they're going to beat Stanford on Saturday, what are kind of your kind of keys to the game? What are things that they need to do?
Yeah, I think most importantly is the turnovers. It seems like every time they've lost a game that they should have won, it's been because of turnovers, either fumbling the ball, special teams, bad interceptions. And also, I just think they really need to, stay ahead of the chains. I think they should be able to run the ball. I think that will be the key to winning is being able to run the ball. But if they get, third and long, that's when we could run into some issues.
Yeah, and just on the Washington State game, they had a narrow, close victory there. Almost blew that one, but they hung on. So just kind of what are the kind of lessons from the Wazoo win? Do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe not letting up. It seems like they kind of thought the game was over in the fourth quarter. It just kind of shows like one fumble, Wazoo was right back in the game. And I just think that the defense needs to keep, keep going the whole game. Like they get a couple turnovers, but it wasn't the stop after stop after stop. It was more, forcing weird turnovers. So it's not like a consistent. They're getting the other team off the field. So that'll be a key to try and get Stanford off the field.
Yeah, and just you already kind of touched on Mendoza, but just what do you just talk about kind of the season he's had. My understanding is he didn't start as a starter. What game did he come into the starting role, and just how well do you think he's done this year?
Yeah, I think he started like 3 or 4 games ago. I'm not exactly who that was against, but the number one thing that I think he's brought is he's not scared of anything. You listen to him in press conferences, and he's like, "I'm ready to go in there. I don't care." I think it was the Utah might have been the first one. Now I'm thinking about it. He's like, "I'm not scared to go into Utah. I'm not scared to go on these like hostile road environments." And I think it rubs off on the team. The team believes in him and thinks like, "Hey, we can win here."
Yeah, and just as far as like Justin Wilcox is concerned, kind of just from kind of your sense of things, there's a lot of kind of hot seat talk. Um, where do you kind of think things? I mean, obviously you don't know the interior discussions going on, but just as one who follows the team, would you like to see
Yeah.
a coaching change made after the season, or just kind of your thoughts on his status? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think a lot of the fans are growing more annoyed and irritated by him as the season goes on and as his tenure's gone on. I think his salary kind of puts the program in a tough place. It seems like he'll probably be back. I just think that if the defense is not going to be a top defense like as it has been in the past, I'm not sure exactly, what he's doing because he's a defensive guy. So I think that's the big key is if we're going to get better defensively, I'm good with him staying because I think Spavital is doing good with the offense. But the defense is going to struggle like this. I think we need to get someone new in there.
Yeah, and just on spat about what kind of offense does he run, just kind of system wise, what's kind of some key things that schematics that Stanford fans should look for.
Yeah, it's a lot of tempo. That's the major difference probably in the past couple of years is trying to run as many plays as possible. You see him sprint to the ball even, the whole drive, honestly, sometimes. And then a lot of shotgun, read option type stuff. Maybe not even to run it, just to read option, see the end, get it out of Fernando's hand quickly.
Awesome, and also too, just on the defense that they're running, what are kind of your kind of key thoughts on the D that they're running?
Yeah, I think they have talented players all around. I think the biggest problem has been seems like there's a lot of, either miscommunication or just like coverage breaks where people aren't on the same page. And yeah, I've seen more guys run wide open this year in the secondary than the past 6 or 7 years of Wilcox combined. So it's kind of interesting that a team that has veteran players, like a lot of grad transfers or older players transfer through, that people are running wide open.
Yeah, and just remind me, I'm blanking on his name. Who's the defensive coordinator again for them? I just talked about
Sermon.
it. Yeah, just kind of how would you kind of evaluate? I mean, obviously the defense is going to but what has not clicked on the defensive side for the Bears?
Yeah, I think he's been fine. More in the past couple years. This year's been a little rougher, but I think this year the not getting after the quarterback has kind of been the biggest issue. Is they're not getting as much pressure as years in the past, and maybe that's more time for the quarterback to throw. That's why guys are running more open. But I think if we can get some more pressure on the quarterback, maybe clean some things up on the back end.
Yeah, good stuff. And just kind of quickly, kind of touch on special teams. Just kind of how are things out? How's their kicker, punter, that those aspects?
Yeah, so kicker started the year. We had one kicker missed a couple kicks early, and so we kind of try out every week like who's gonna be the kicker, who's gonna be the kicker. We've kind of settled on one the past couple of weeks, and it's been pretty solid. Seems still like they don't have a ton of confidence in the kicking game in general, so you'll probably see unless it's a chip shot or like a fourth and long, they've been going for it pretty consistently in plus territory. And then punting game, it's been solid, nothing special, but I will say that they're not giving up like the returns or big plays as they have in the past. So that's a plus in that area.
Yeah, and then they have another running back who may or may not be able to tweak him, but Ifonse, just talk about him and what his style of running is.
Yeah, I'm not like you said. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to play or not. He's more of a bruiser as compared to Ott. So they're using him earlier in the year a lot in the short yardage downs, red zone. I think he at one point was top around the top in the nation in touchdowns. So he had like 7 or 8 like, pretty early in the season. So he's tough to bring down. They use him in the goal line situations.
Yes, and just kind of in general, in terms of wins and lot, in terms of like outcome, just kind of how are you kind of feeling about this one for Cal? Do you like their chances? Just kind of who do you kind of expect to win this one on Saturday?
Yeah, it's always tough rivalry game. You never know what's going to happen. I do think Cal should win this game, and I'd be disappointed if they didn't. I just think they've been playing better football as of lately. I think they've figured out the offense, so I think they should be able to score a good amount of points. And I know Stanford's been struggling a bit on offense themselves, so hopefully the Cal bad defense as it has been this year isn't too much of a problem.
Yeah, and so just you kind of do you have a final score prediction? What are you kind of thinking for that?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go around 38-20 be my guess.
And who Cal? You're thinking?
I'm going Cal, yeah, going
So
Cal.
38, you got 38-20 Cal. Okay, good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, just kind of quickly on Stanford, I think Cal wins. I'm thinking 37-33. And the reason why I'm thinking that is I just think that Cal is a slightly better team. And Stanford has just not found a way to win at home yet this year. And I also think Cal has a bit more on the line here, and just in terms of Wilcox's job security. There's still a bowl on the line potentially. And I think Stanford, on the other hand, has overachieved. They've won more games than people thought they would, which shows you how low the bar was. Um, but it's not that Stanford doesn't have motivation; they don't want to win. I think they absolutely do. But I just think Cal, they're going to come in fired up for this one, and I know Stanford will as well. But I just think in this one, I think Cal is a slightly better team, and this is one where I don't think home field advantage matters a whole lot, particularly since Stanford hasn't won at home all year. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So we're both in agreement. Cal wins. I think just quickly for Stanford, I think a big thing for them is they're going to have to see if they can get some big plays out of their wide receiver Elikai Minor. He's a real stud, and then they're going to have to find ways to get the defense rolling, get some creative blitzes going, put some pressure on the Cal quarterback Mendoza, force some turnovers. They've done that better lately. So I think if they do those things well and establish some sort of a running game, because that's been kind of disappeared for them the last couple of weeks, outside of the quarterback Justin Lamson, maybe they make this interesting. Maybe they actually win. So it's winnable for Cal, but for Stanford, I mean, but I do agree. I think Cal comes out on top. I just think it'll be a closer game than you think it will. But anyway,
Yeah,
that's
could
all.
could be a higher scoring could be a higher scoring big game than people are used to.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this is one where it could be a high scoring back and forth kind of affair. Will be interesting to see. But thanks so much, Cal, for being on here. And just real quickly, how can people find you on Twitter and all that stuff?
Yeah, Twitter is my name at Cal Cangilla. It was great being here. Love talking Cal football, so thanks for having me on.
Anytime, man. We'll sure to have you on. Sure, we'll be certain to have you on next year. And enjoy the game.
Awesome, thanks. You too, man.
All right.